Hey guys, welcome to the Beef Stew episode uh 8, 8 or
I think
7.
it's 9.
Is it 9?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Brought to you by Edge
Yeah,
Beer.
by Edge Beer. I'm drinking the Ice House Edge. It says Ice House in very little font that I can see in the bottom, and then the whole can says Edge. 10% alcohol for volume.
Yeah. And Pat's feeling the edge.
I am feeling the edge. It's like Surge back in the 90s. So we're here to talk about 1984 by George Orwell. I thought this was an interesting adaptation of his work, to be honest. I thought all the like action scenes and time travel and I thought it captured it better than some of the other versions I've seen
Yeah,
in the
it
past.
felt spiritually true.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, thematically it was on point if maybe it didn't stick to all the story points, you know.
Yeah. Instead of big brother, you have younger sister, possibly twin sister, maybe slightly older sister.
Dude, I gotta tell you, like, I'm not gonna try to jump around too much. I'll try to hit some points I have because I watched this movie almost a week ago, so it's barely in my mind anymore. It's faded now, like any kind of good childhood memory. Um, I
It is dripped out of my ears
yeah, but
like maple syrup.
I will say this: this movie is goddamn ridiculous, more than I was expecting.
Oh,
It was
it's glorious.
I kind of love it. I'm not saying it's a good movie, but I've been seeing a lot of attacks on this online. Like it's become the big bandwagon the last 2 weeks. Like, fuck the feminism of Wonder Woman 1984. This is bullshit. Patty Jenkins and DC. I enjoyed this way more than I did the first Wonder Woman movie. I enjoyed this more than I did most of the other like Zack Snyder post Zack Snyder DC movies. I
Oh
think
yeah, yeah.
I think this is maybe it's because I watched it at home and I didn't see it in the theater. I wonder if I saw this in the theater, how I would feel about it if I paid to go see this and I was sitting in a theater. I don't know. That's a factor. But as far as a streaming movie goes, I drank a few beers on Sunday night last week. This was on. I had a great fucking time. I don't get it. I thought this was like a fucking cartoon. I mean, this was Looney Tunes at points. It blew my mind
Yeah,
how
I
crazy.
watched it as sober as a priest in church, and yeah, no, it was batshit insane.
It's insane.
It's
There's
it's really pleasantly awful. You know what I
yes,
mean?
100%. I know. I felt the
It's
same
like
way.
it's like she's like, I don't like guns. I'm like, well, yeah, I guess she wouldn't like guns, would she? Every bad one-liner, I'm like, well, I guess she wouldn't. She wouldn't
I
like
know.
that thing, and she would help out that little girl, wouldn't she?
It's at the opening immediately. There's this mall action sequence, and Patty Jenkins is always trying to do this Richard Donner as Superman tone. That's clearly what she's really inspired by. In the first one and this one, that opening mall sequence is her trying to do Richard Donner Superman. And
Oh yeah,
it's these guys robbing the mall, and then Wonder Woman shows up and she saves this little girl and she throws her in a giant teddy bear. And just the tone of this scene and the way it's done is so silly.
yeah.
Like
And the robbers aren't even like bad guys. They're like, there's just one asshole who like shot a gun. And they're like, oh man, oh geez,
the
fuck,
thing
we're fucked.
the thing with the little kid killed me. And
They were
it's
even stealing stolen merchandise.
yes. No, and she shows up and just how like they're gonna shoot a kid and I think she grabs the little kid and she's like, hold on and she like throws
Yep.
the kid into a teddy bear and the camera stays on the kid and the kid looks at the teddy bear and like smiles.
Yeah, it's like something out of Home Alone 2. She
This
beats them up like they're Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci.
it's so true. No, and they're like some vigilante just beat up these two criminals on the news that nobody knows who it was. Like the thing I love about this movie out of the gate, I mean, I gotta say, is there's a few things. Its simplicity that it's not a needlessly complicated, overstuffed comic, but this has a really stupid, goofy, streamlined premise. How over the top the acting and direction was. And I'll say this, my third thing, and what I think is the best quality of the movie, and what I liked about the first movie. I really like the Chris Pine Gal Donut dynamic. I think that whole stretch where Chris Pine comes back and she's taking him
He
through
just
the
comes back immediately, fucks the shit out of her.
yeah.
She wakes up. Was that a dream? Was sex really that good? And he's just eating a fucking Pop Tart in bed.
I loved every single one of those scenes. I don't give a fuck what
Yeah,
anyone says. Him putting the
like Chris
clothes.
Pine has been slowly like redeeming himself for Star Trek, for New
This
Trek.
took me back to Princess Diaries too, Chris Pine. I mean, this is where, this is where my heart lies. Well, there's actually a genuinely good movie at the heart of this bad movie, which is because their actual premise is that Pedro Pascal becomes the Wishmaster. There's this old ancient rock
Wishing stone that
wishing,
destroys civilization.
and Kristen Wiig comes in possession of it, and she's like this. But I want to save to get to Kristen Wiig, but she gets it, and
And that's what's stolen in the original crime.
her wish comes true. And then Pedro Pascal, here's his idea. Instead of asking for a wish, he asks that he can become the wishing stone so he can grant wishes because he thinks then this will give him the power to take over the world. Because if he grants people's wishes, they have to give him something in return. Because that's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he wishes to be the monkey's paw.
I love it.
Is the
Pedro
premise,
Pedro
which
Pascal. This is
which
like
Chris Pine mentions multiple times, and I like that because that would have been a relatively new story when
yes.
he was alive. He's like,
Well,
it's just like this story I read, The Monkey's Paw. Have you read? Are people still reading
no.
that?
Chris Pine playing like the dumb blonde girlfriend who's like in awe and wonderment of everything about the 80s is like, I just want that movie. I could have just it's kind of what sucks about a lot of modern day comic book movies is they have to have a bad guy and all this big apocalyptic stuff going on. Like there's a movie here where some
Oh,
magic stone just brings back Wonder Woman's boyfriend and it's about
yeah,
him
Steve
and
Trevor's back.
yeah, cuz it's sort of got this that
And
mo-
like Max Lord is always depicted nowadays in comics
yeah.
as being so serious, like he's fucking mind controlling people. In this, he's got a wishing. He becomes a wishing rock, and he can like blow wind at people with his wish powers. And it reminded me a lot of like Batman and Robin,
Yes.
but better.
I agree. I agree. 100%. And but if this movie had just been about that character coming back by some wish and it was sort of like that movie like I think it's called Time After Time, that Malcolm McDowell movie, the Nicholas Meyer film. If it had just been a time fantasy movie where it's about this guy comes to the 80s and then him and her get to live the 80s together and she's introducing it to him and then at the end he has to go away again. I think it could have been a really good. It actually kind of shares a tone to those movies. It's not really an 80s movie in like a Stranger Things way. The kind of movie that this is more like is like Mannequin with Andrew McCarthy.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
that's what it's going for. And
There's so much needless complexity, which just makes
yes.
me wonder what the fuck happened here. Man, it's like a car crash.
No,
Just looking at the
yes.
bodies of scripts on the highway,
But there's scenes with
plot threads everywhere.
There's scenes with Chris Pine where like she's like this is modern art and he's pointing and she's like that's a trash can. He's like right, I think those scenes really
That's
work.
dancing. I know they're so cheesy and dumb, but honestly, I mean, I don't see the need for superhero movies to all be the same. You know,
I agree. I loved how
and
dumb
I'll
this
say
was.
this. I've read a lot of 60s Wonder Woman comics where it's pretty much just a romantic comedy or basically just about Steve Trevor.
I think
I'm not
this
joking.
this really sold me on the rom-com superhero film. Like if this was just cuz I mean I'm sound crazy cuz I know everyone's shitting on this movie, but the escalator scene and then somehow, I don't know how they did it. They somehow pull off the invisible jet,
I
and it's
know.
one of my favorite sequences of the
I
whole
mean, because
movie because it's so
because
goofy.
everyone has to be thinking. So he flew like he flew like a Sopwith camel, you know, in
I
like
know.
World War One.
I
So
know.
like a Fokker biplane or something. And now he can fly this fucking Top Gun jet.
I know
So you're already thinking that's fucking stupid, and I love it.
he's
He's a
Maverick.
pilot. Why can't he fly everywhere? Everything. He's a
Yeah,
pilot.
it's just that easy. And
Um,
he teaches her how to fly in 5 minutes. He just explains it's the
yeah,
wind. She's like the
yeah. And
wind.
then, I mean, talk about Patty Jenkins' penis envy. She has her hold her arms out like Superman.
Oh, we got to get to that later. The flying, which I also love. But there's the sequence where they steal this jet and they go fly it. I also love the agency of the character Steve. That like she tells him
On the
like
4th of July.
she's like we have to go stop and find out what's going on here, and he's just like let's do it. And he's actually very involved and helps her fight and do shit. But they're flying, and he's like let's fly
Yeah,
this
he
up.
just got out of World War One. He's like, fuck it. Nothing has
And,
consequences. I can
and
go to a store and get heroin and cocaine
and
legally.
they fly above the clouds, and it's like the magic carpet in Aladdin. Like they watch the fireworks in the clouds, and I'm sorry, I
They
loved it.
fly through the fireworks
I loved
over New
it.
York.
I love that
Oh no,
scene.
it's ridiculous.
It's fucking
And then he's
amazing.
like, they'll never catch me. And she was like, oh, I forgot about radar. And then she
Yeah.
turns the jet invisible. And then he's like, it's an invisible jet.
I'll say this: the invisible
It's
jet,
it's so
it looks badass. The invisible jet looks great. It looks as bad and as good as it needs to. The fireworks and the cloud effect, him explaining flying to her. I honestly, there's a chemistry there. They share like because so many comic book movies are like this. Remind like Sam Raimi when he would let things be cheesy, like a '60s
yeah.
comic. That was a really cheesy moment, and I think it worked because it was so cheesy and lame. Like because it wasn't sexy, you
Yeah,
know.
Chris Pine somehow walks away with this movie as well.
He did. I know. I liked him in the first. I thought the first movie he was like the highlight, like the secret weapon. And this movie, all I thought about when it was over was like, Chris Pine's a goddamn movie star. Why isn't he in rom coms? He's like,
Yeah, they should have kept
like,
him around.
like, fuck the Star Trek movies. He needs to be in like a fuck like a romantic comedy with like Anna Kendrick or something. You know, he needs to be in like a fucking funny
Anna
ass.
Kendrick.
I'm just throwing names out
What is this,
there.
2010?
Well, Chris Pine's a little
You're just throwing names
2010
out
to.
there. How about yeah, how about she's in there with Diane Keaton. It's him and Diane Keaton.
I would love that if he was fucking Diane Keaton. Um, I I'll even say this: when his character leaves, when Steve leaves, how they direct that scene. That when he, because basically what they find out with the wishing stone is that you have to give up your wish in order to take away its power, and so
As you may imagine.
this becomes the struggle of the movie. Is that Diane has what she wants. She has Steve back, but she's losing her powers. Kristen Wiig is getting superpowers but losing her humanity, and Pedro Pascal's character is losing his connection with the sun and his grasp on reality as he becomes all encompassing with power. So, which actually is kind of a fun setup is that Wonder Woman is losing her powers, but that's the only way she can keep her boyfriend. So the only way that she's
I
going to be
know.
able
It's gold.
to save the day is to lose her boyfriend.
That's how a Wonder Woman movie should be.
I
It's
agree.
hysterical, but it's true.
Zack Snyder wishes he could have thought of this. So there's a scene where he keeps telling her like, "I have to go," and he tells her and he holds her and they kiss, and he's like, "I'll always love you," and she's running away, and you just hear him in the background saying, "I'll always love you. I'll never forget you," and then as he slowly starts to like disappear, she increases her running speed because she's getting her powers back, and then she jumps up into the air and then she realizes she can fly now and she is lassoing lightning and clouds and puts her arms
Yeah.
out and she remembers what he said to her because God forbid that we forget what he said to her during the jet scene from 30 minutes before. and she starts to fly. And it's so much better than the flying scene in Man of Steel. It's
I know. If only a U2 song was playing, it would have
I
been
know.
perfect.
Yeah,
It gave me Spider-Man 3 flashbacks.
no,
It was beautiful.
perfect comparison. Yeah, but even though that scene was directed that they don't have the goodbye and she watches him disappear, the fact that it's off camera and she's running away is like kind of genius. Like
Yeah. I mean, it's well done.
it's perfect. It's like this perfect like over the top cheesy love transfers across all because the thing I was so confused about with this plot was like how are they going to fit Chris Pine back in because he died, and they clearly just wrote the whole premise around that to bring Chris Pine back, but
Yeah, the
that's
one thing she needs is his dick.
it's
That's
actually the
that's like the
strength.
MacGuffin of the movie.
It's actually the strength of the whole movie though, is that Chris Pine's back. Like it's what kind of makes the whole thing work.
Oh yeah, no, totally. What's weird is that he steals another man's body to do
I
it
know
instead of just being back and
he's
like
he's
he's
fucking her as another man, and then even at the end she talks to the guy.
yeah, it's like, hey, I kind of raped you, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, yeah, I'm cool with it.
No, it's got this like Freaky Friday sort of thing, like vice
Yeah,
versa body switch element to it,
w-
which
completely unnecessary and must have went somewhere. It's like, yeah, you probably not just to get your powers back, you should probably give this man back his life. You know, he's probably on some Washington, like
you make a
like
valid point.
Washington D.C. most wanted list.
You make a valid point. They were never concerned with
He
this
just
guy's
stole a
life.
jet.
They were never
Yeah.
concerned about like this guy could have had a kid. They didn't care.
No, they fuck in his bachelor pad.
Yeah, they live in his
And he
house
like
too.
eats this guy's Pop Tarts.
That's too far. You don't need another man's Pop Tarts. No, I'll just say it, I loved Chris Pine. I think this is like one of the best things Chris Pine's done. I think him in this movie was completely charming.
Oh, in
Um,
both movies, he's so charming, man.
and I think him like I always liked Chris Pine. I know you were more mixed. I've loved him since Princess Diaries too. I've always loved Chris Pine.
No, I just hated him in New Trek.
But new track.
Spelled N-U like new metal.
But this really shows like how naturally charismatic and charming of an actor he is, and kind of upsetting that he got stuck in that Star Trek series and he didn't really get in Marvelers. I'm happy he has these movies. It's kind of sucks that they like set him up to die and then he's probably not like. I want more of this character. I want him as this character in more stuff. I want him and Wonder Woman together. It's sort of where they fucked up. Like they have this great romantic relationship with the two of them and they can't figure out how to like keep it because it's the charm of these Wonder Woman movies.
Yeah, maybe they'll bring him back again as like a robot in
Because
3.
he makes her better. Because Gal Gadot isn't a great actress, but she's good
Yeah.
with him.
Oh yeah, and Gal Gadot. I will just say this: I was thinking about this when I watched it. That she's probably the most famous Israeli actress. I would guess. Although wait, I mean I don't think I think Natalie Portman might have been born in Israel, but I don't think she's Israeli. Like Gal Gadot was in the IDF,
Mm-hmm.
and she's in Egypt in this, like saving
I know.
children's lives and like flinging around RPGs and stuff. And why didn't that take place in like San Jose or something? Or like in Mexico. Uh,
So I want to move on to the next thing. We talked about Chris Pine. I want to talk about Kristen Wiig in this.
the elephant in the room, or should I say the cheetah?
Yeah.
That's my Kirsten
I
Wiig joke.
was sending you pictures of the progress of her character throughout this movie while I was watching it drunk.
Your reactions were priceless.
Because it starts out and she's basically doing an SNL character. Her nerdy. It kind of reminded me of what like Michelle Pfeiffer's doing in Batman Returns before she becomes Catwoman, literally Catwoman. But Like she's like the nerdy glasses. Everyone's just a
No, oh
fucking
my God, Michelle Pfeiffer is so much better.
no,
This
but
is
it's that
like
kind of thing.
someone impersonating a sixth grader.
No, it's SNL. Like I was because I don't think Kristen Wiig's a bad actress, and I also don't think that she lacks presence or even sex appeal in a movie. I actually think that
Yeah, she's just not funny.
I think she could be in a movie and be like the stuff I've liked her in isn't like the Bridesmaid stuff like that. Like there's this movie, The Skeleton Twins, and some other movies I've
Oh
seen,
yeah.
and I think she could be really good in movies.
She
Um,
was good in this. I mean, she
I
was
agree.
terrible, but she was
She
good.
was
I don't think it's
perfect.
her fault she was awful.
She was perfect for this movie. But she starts off and she's like, there's just random guys on the street that are just trying to rape her.
Hey
Like,
man,
I love that there's just these guys like
that's
leaning on the.
DC.
There's just
I
dudes
think
on
it took place in DC.
the corner that are like, yeah, that's the
Yeah, it
DC
did.
universe.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ho, ho, ho.
but she works at a
The
la
Smithsonian.
the
They work at the
Smithsonian,
Smithsonian.
and Wonder Woman works there too. And there's this opening part where everyone's ignoring Kristen Wiig, like she's like
Because
hi.
she's frumpy and has
Yeah,
glasses.
she drops some files and she's like, "Can you help me pick this up?" And everyone's like, "Fuck you,
It's
nerd."
like that scene with Judy Greer in that Mel Gibson movie, What Women Want.
It's exactly like it's the exact same scene. Holy shit. She is Trudy Greer's character in that movie. Oh my god. So then Wonder Woman and her like become friends and go out to dinner and everything. It's almost like a little lesbian, I felt.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
they were going to
Little
go
tease.
I was like, are they going to go
If
home
Steve
together?
Trevor, yeah, if Steve Trevor hadn't have shown up,
If he would have pulled
this,
that three-way off as another guy,
oh, with a cheetah,
10 out of 10.
with the cheetah, man,
So
yeah.
so this like
This movie is one three-way from a 10 out of 10.
but I just love how stupid the fucking like logic and like premises that she gets the rock and she wishes on the stone and then she's like, I wish I could be like Diane. So then she gets what? Oh god, we
Well,
have a
Diana does beat up the rapist
yes,
from the
the
from when she
rant.
first shows up.
So then
Takes her out to like an
yes.
expensive dinner, laughs at her jokes. It looks like she's trying to fuck her.
No, exactly. I kept thinking like, where's this going? I was getting really excited. Like I thought, wow, the first lesbian like thing in a superhero movie, like really like bold move, Pat. You know, because she did Monster and that had a lesbian relationship. So I was getting excited there. Um,
This one had a monster.
so then Kristen Wiig wakes up and now she's sexy. She takes the glasses off. She's all that.
Yep, they do the She's All That.
She
The Kiss Me song by Sixpence None the Richer comes on.
and now every guy wants to fuck her. Everyone's listening to her to tell really
Kiss me.
everyone's
Da,
listening
da, 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 da.
everyone's listening to her and laughing at her stories even though they're not funny. And she's like,
They
"What's
do seem slightly funnier, I will say that.
yes?" I'll give him that. Kristen Wiig, because she's not a bad looking chick. When she gets into sexy,
It's like shit, she has charisma at this point. They like
I
curled her
know,
hair a little bit.
I know. She there's a scene I love where she goes to a gym and like is lifting weights, and there's all these like '80s bodybuilder guys watching her like lift this like 400-pound barbell above her head. Um, but she starts
And
to
she's in ridiculous 80s
yes,
gear.
she starts to get Wonder Woman's powers. And she doesn't fully realize she has superpowers yet, but Pedro Pascal knows that she has the wishing stone, so he's like fucks her to get the wishing stone. He like it's such a funny scene when he's kissing her and he just puts it behind his back.
I know. That's some SNL shit.
No,
It's like something out of Ghostbusters.
I know.
And not the female one, not the one with her.
No,
It's like Bill Murray would just
it's
put this behind my back,
you're
tuck it
so
in my
right.
shirt.
No, he's telling
The
her
world's worst art thief.
he's like, "Ooh, what's this stone you have? Maybe I can show it to some friends of mine." And then he just puts it behind his back while he's kissing her, and she's not noticing that he's clearly just trying to steal. He's clearly evil. But she's
I
just
mean, I don't know if I would say he's clearly evil, but he's clearly like grimy.
and
He's
she
like
is
a grimy motherfucker.
she is so
He's like
horny,
a
man. Like
sympathetic character. Yeah.
And
Man, yeah, she's got that librarian vibe going on.
I know. I know. So then what I love about her character arc is that for a while she's a good guy. She gets the powers and she's like helping Steve and Diana figure out what's going on. She shows up and to a point. Then out of nowhere, as soon as she finds out that like you have to take the wish back, she's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I gotta keep my sexiness and my superpowers. You know,
Yeah, she dips right out of there.
instead of just being like, maybe just keep doing your hair that way and don't wear the glasses, get contacts and put some makeup on. Do you really need superpowers? You know? Instead, she's like, and I love that she's changed at this point. She's wearing like fur and she's got her hair done up with like she's like transformed even more now. She keeps transforming. She's like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly. She keeps turning into a monster or like Ginger
Yeah, except
Snaps.
she just starts turning into a hotter,
Yeah.
like 80s actress. Like she's went like the middle face is like Gina Davis,
Mhm.
and now she's at like Phoebe Cates.
So then she shows up at one point. Diana and Steve are fighting at the White House against Pedro Pascal's villain, and she beats the shit out of Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman's like bleeding and stuff, and she's like, "I'll kill you," And then Diana's like, "At what cost? You have lost your humanity and your kindness and
No,
blah."
that's at the White House.
That's what I'm saying. I said the White House.
No, said, yeah, oh God,
So so
with
so
Reagan.
so we're going through her character. So she beats her up. So she joins Pedro Pascal's character. So then we get to the third act with this character, and she has become an Island of Dr. Monroe nightmare monster. She's
She's walked out of Cats.
she is Chitara from Thundercats. Some people are like, I want a live action Thundercats movie. I'm like, I'm not so sure. This cat
I think you
CGI
do.
this cat CGI thing has never seemed to work for any movie.
Furries, I'm sorry, the technology's just not there
It's
yet.
not there. Andy Serkis has not made it with this yet. He hasn't crossed that line. No, it's just not.
Unless you're into monkeys, it's just not there yet.
She
And
goes
if you
from
are into monkeys, you're a sick fuck.
she's so hot, and then she becomes a cheetah lady, and it's like, what the fuck is this? Like,
I mean, in her introductory scene, there is like a snow leopard behind her.
yeah,
Um, and she's wearing the cheetah print boots, or she likes Wonder Woman's cheetah print boots.
yeah.
And she does literally lose her humanity. She becomes a weird were person.
I mean,
So
I'll say
I don't
that
know. I was fine with it.
a
I
lot of a
mean,
lot of these ideas on
she's
paper, I
playing
think,
cheetah.
I think are great. Like the nerdy chick turns into a cheetah lady. Steve comes back and is like Wonder Woman rapes this guy. Like Pedro Pascal
Yeah,
turns into a goes like just gives the most over the top
yeah.
performance I've
Let's
seen in a
let's get into
while.
Pedro
Yeah,
Pascal
I
because it's
I love
this
it.
is a man who's spent his whole life after the Wish Stone, I guess.
Yeah, he somehow
And
he's read about it. It's like this thing he's been obsessed with for his whole life because he knows it'll bring him. He's like involved with some company and he's about to lose everything and the money's not there. But he finds the wish stone and then he wishes to become it instead of just wishing from the wish stone to like get all power or something like that.
mhm.
I was
And here's
I was curious about his plan to turn into the wishing stone.
I think it's a good idea. It's like I wish to be the monkey's paw,
I know.
and I can just hand out like devilish little twists wherever I want.
No, it's so funny. There's
Although,
so many scenes in this
although,
movie where he's holding someone's hands and he goes, "Now tell me what you want more than anything. Wish for it. And then for return, I ask for all of your oil."
yeah, he doesn't come across like Donald Trump, except for like the sniffing towards the end. He comes across like a really like touchy preacher, like a touchy Latin American preacher.
I loved it. I thought his own. I
No,
thought.
me too. It was fucking
I mean,
hysterical, man.
I love this guy. I thought he should have played Zorro for. I loved him on Game of Thrones as Oberyn Martell. He was great. He was a big scene stealer that season. He's on the Mandalorian. But I like Pedro Pascal. But this is like I've never seen him do anything like this. I mean, he turns up to fucking 11 here, dude. This is the end scene where he's like in that fucking light and he's like
It's
take
like he was told you'll never be allowed to chew any scenery again for the rest of your life. You'll be on a no scenery diet. You cannot chew anything ever again. You're losing the lower half of your jaw, Ebert style.
It's
And
I was
he
sending you
unhinges his jaw like a goddamn anaconda and chews everything he can see in sight. You think he's turned up to 11 in the first scene?
he has so much. I was sending you pictures when he's in that beam of light. This I haven't seen a movie like this. Took me back to like I thought about like the Scooby Doo movies, like movies from the '90s and
Oh
early
yeah, man.
2000s. Like
He's being beamed across the world with the Star Wars program.
I know the Star Wars by Ronald Reagan. They put it in the movie, but he's like yelling out, "Give me all your wishes, your power." It's
Yeah, and
insane. It's
I will say this
insane.
this doesn't make any sense. I just want to point this out. The whole monkey's paw thing is like it turns out the wish was shitty for you. So in the end, to solve all the problems, they have to renege on their wishes. They have to wish for it to return. Who wouldn't do that in a monkey's paw?
Yeah, I did. Well, I thought it was just so funny even before the ending how his whole
No,
plan.
it ends with nuclear missiles being fired from
Yeah.
every direction. People are cowering, screaming.
People are
At one point,
dying.
they walk out of the White House into an Antifa riot.
People are wishing that people are dead and they die. This Irish guy
Yeah.
wishes this woman would die and she dies. His son character is running and being chased by Antifa. It's like the Capitol being attacked right now. I mean, it's like this movie's very prescient. But even before that, just his plan, how he like goes to like parts of the world and grants people's wishes, and then he it was like comedic brilliance. Like this is such a great comedy premise where he's like,
Yeah,
"Give
you
me."
want to see him like succeed and see how far he can go with it.
You,
And by the end, he's like he's literally like God and
you never hate
has
this
doomed
guy.
the entire human race.
You never hate
And for
this
some
guy.
reason, is like God. Is he in like Antarctica or something?
But
Like
I loved when he's like, "Give me your oil," and the guy's like, "I sold it to the Saudis." He's like, "Then I take your security team and leave you here." So then he's on. We got to talk about this sequence. There's a sequence where he's in a bunch of like jeeps and stuff with his own like military, and
the
Diane.
one kind of action sequence,
Yeah, this movie
big
doesn't have a lot of action and like fight
and it's
scenes.
all the better for it.
I agree. I don't think a Wonder Woman needs a lot of fight scene. There's one scene we haven't talked about yet that we have to get into that immediately let me know how good this movie was going to be. We'll get to it. But there's a sequence where they're on the road, one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and he's with the guys, and for some reason, Diana and Steve are just passing by, and she's like, turn around. And so she gets out of the car and starts running, and there's this shot of her running that's the funniest fucking shot I've seen in years.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
pretty great.
it's like the
She like
Roadrunner.
Marty McFly's on a piece of metal
Yeah,
too.
it's so badass. So she's fighting, and then Steve's like going around. He kicks ass. He takes over a tank. Like, it's badass. There's one part that I love so much where he shoots a rocket, and she lassos onto the rocket and rides the rocket like a Looney Tunes
Yeah,
cartoon. It's amazing. She
it
ri-
is something straight out of a cartoon. It's
it,
brilliant.
it really.
It's not like an enemy rocket. He's like, I'm gonna launch this rocket. And he's like hand signaling.
They
He
look at
launches
each
his
other and
rocket.
they're on the same page. Like, let's do this. I couldn't believe it. I was trying to send you pictures of it because my mind was fucking blown when she was riding that
I had
rocket.
already seen it, and I was like, just wait, just wait,
Just wait for the rocket ride. So she rides a rocket
wait for the lightning
and then
bolts.
she jumps on the thing and she's looking through the windshield and she's like, "You have to stop doing this." She's like, "Where is the stone?" And he's like, "You're looking at it." So then these random kids show up because there's kids almost getting killed throughout this whole movie. That's this
Yeah,
movie's
as
crux.
as there are in real life.
So she jumps and saves these children, and that's where the sequence ends. But that whole sequence, like the rocket, Steve taking over the tank when she's getting crushed by the two vehicles, the Marty McFly, the Indiana Jones under the car move, and there's
Yeah, which it seemed like she's above, you know?
and there's
But I
genuine.
guess she's losing her powers.
That's the thing.
Who
There's
knows?
genuine tension because in this goofy world, because the losing her powers aspect, which is a gimmick we've seen in other movies, like you see her bleed and stuff like that. She's a god. It's like Hercules, not in like the animated movie, like he can bleed, she's not immortal. So she's like can't fight back. It's like a reason why there isn't a lot of action in this movie because she's not really Wonder Woman for a lot of this movie. And the movie's better because of that because she feel it's like the fact that they brought out the humanity in the character made her feel more like Wonder Woman to me than she did in the first movie where she can just kick everyone's ass. I
Although she had humanity in the first
I
one.
agree. I like it, but people always talk about like the trench, like the sequence where she goes out and fights the Germans and all that. And I thought this sequence, like, if this was in a Saturday morning cartoon, if it was an animated scene, it'd be great. It'd be a perfect animated sequence, and
They have two different vibes, that's for sure.
I can't believe this is the sequel to that movie. I can't
I
believe
know.
Patty Jenkins
She
made.
wears giant eagle armor in this.
I'm so upset that this like had to come out in the COVID era. That this couldn't come out in a normal movie season, and everyone went to go see this in the theater.
I can't even picture a reality where people paid to see this in the
Because
theater.
it would have opened to like $100 million or something, and I just imagine everyone in the theater being like, "What the fuck is this?" And we're the only two who love it. Because everyone
I
hates
mean,
this movie, and I think when I say great, it's like a guilty pleasure, but I mean that as a complete positive. I was so pleasant. I thought this was going to be, I thought I'd start this podcast with you, be like, this movie's fucking horrible. I regret watching it. I don't feel that way at all. I'm
I
so,
thought I'm going to be bored watching this superhero movie where superhero things happen. And instead, no, I laughed my ass off.
there's
I was
no,
like clipping to myself for 2.5 hours
I'd rewatch it.
because
There's not a boring scene in this whole movie.
yeah, I mean, but it is on the threshold of kind of being boring at all times.
Exactly. No, I agree. I agree because it's so long.
Oh, God. I mean, this is a movie that ends with everything going back to normal,
I know.
like it was all a dream, and the entire world getting together, holding hands, and singing Kumbaya.
It's like the end of the 40-year-old virgin, I mean, and it's
It's exactly like that, man. If they all broke out into a hair song,
yeah,
it's the
Aquarius.
age of Aquarius.
Steve, the guy she sleeps with the Steve guy, and he like looks up at the camera and starts singing it. But like, yeah, it's just I'm so impressed and blown away by the tone, the script, the way that this is simultaneously like there's things about it that are charming and well done while also horrible at the same time. It's simplicity while also being like overly complicated and overstuffed as a movie. How indulgent and long it is. Like it's like 45 minutes too long.
It's incredibly flawed.
Oh,
It's like that car crash with plot threads everywhere and plot holes everywhere. Oh my God, look what happened to this plot. Oh Jesus.
no,
I'm
no,
not going to be able to eat for a week.
none of this makes sense to me. Like his plan with the wishing stone thing, the way that he had to keep asking people, and then they say you only get one wish, but then it seemed like people were getting more than one wish. Cause
Don't waste your one wish.
no, no, I know the way that he's
He
going
was like
around,
Jafar.
the way he's going around the office. Tell me that wish. Wait, I granted your wish yesterday. Damn it! Like
It's
he's
hysterical.
no, it's and the thing when he's like talking about his son and he's yelling and how pissed he is, and then he looks and the son's right outside the office and he's like, "No, get him a race car." I mean, I think Pedro Pascal's performance and that character and his whole storyline about being a living wishing stone is so fucking funny and so well done. Like, I mean, Judd Apatow hasn't made a movie that funny in 20 years. I mean, it was like It's such a funny premise. I mean,
Or at least 10 years.
it could be a comedy premise that a guy becomes a wishing stone.
I mean, that's kind of what happens with Bruce Almighty. He becomes God,
Yeah. No, it's like that.
and then
Cuz
he also like destroys the world.
No, it is. It's got that sort of Bruce Almighty thing. I was just shocked at how fluffy the
I
whole
I
thing
kind of
was.
I kind of prefer it, honestly.
Dude,
It's
I'm with you.
it's just it's insanity. I feel like okay, let's see if you get this
Jim
feeling
Carrey
too.
can't overact as much as Pedro Pascal does in this movie.
No, I mean, you thought Jim Carrey could overact. My God,
Liar,
he's
liar, what's
he's
that?
he's his performance in Dumb and Dumber is the essence of subtlety.
I mean, this just makes me want Pedro Pascal to be this like B actor and be in these over the
Yeah,
top movies because he actually can act and is a really good actor. But after seeing this, I don't want anything else.
I get the significant feeling that I think and like this movie. I like this movie more than everyone involved with it. It's like they were all high on drugs and made a piece of art and thought it was great at the time.
And they
You
didn't.
know, if you may have ever done that, afterwards you might think, "Wow, this is terrible." But then someone comes along and thinks, "Wow, this is
I
great."
don't think they see what they have here. I agree. I think a lot of people. All I keep seeing across the board, like bad movie. I keep seeing like this feminist agenda, which I did not get with this movie at all. I did not get this SJW.
I mean, there's stuff in it, but it's also like it's so dumb that
Yeah,
it's
why did you take
like,
the
do you care?
Yeah, why did you take that away from this movie out of everything going on? But I'm not seeing anyone talk about this. This reminds me so much of when God's Not Dead came out. And all I saw was all these people bitching about how it was so bad and horrible. And I loved it because it was such a great bad movie. We don't get a lot of these anymore. Like the so bad, like the best of the worst type movies. This is like Samurai Cop or something. I mean, this is like you get together with your buddies and drink a bunch of beers and just laugh and riff on this. I mean, this is like perfect for like riff tracks. I mean, it's that kind of movie. And I had no
Yeah.
idea. I either thought this was going to be a really bad movie that was boring and bad, like Batman v Superman or something, or I either thought that it was going to be kind of a mediocre generic superhero movie. I was not expecting this over the top, cartoony, stupid, goofy, fun ride. I,
Yeah, I mean, it could have used more rainbows and sparkles. Honestly,
I, I,
I would have liked both of those things.
I hope Patty
Taylor
Jenkins.
Swift should have covered
Yeah,
One by U2
yeah, I agree.
at a moment in this. I mean,
Well,
that could work in any movie.
even the thing they set up the armor that there's the ancient warrior of the
Yeah, she's just
Amazonians,
got it in her closet.
and she goes and gets it, and then at the end, Wonder Woman, there's a sequence where she's flying in with the armor on, and it's like so insane looking. It looks awful, and she's like, there's a shot of
The
her.
Kingdom Come
Yeah,
Eagle's wings.
and she's flying in, and her and Cheetah fight, and they're fighting in the water, and she's like, please come back, and she's like, no, I refuse, and she's like, then I apologize for this, and she electrocutes her in the water. It's a great fight. That's like my favorite fist.
Kristen
That
Wiig kind of gives up immortality.
honestly,
That was a dumb move.
that fight and the fight in the White House, I both think are great. I love both of the Cheetah fights between her and Wonder Woman. I think they're so fun. I love that like speed slide thing that Wonder Woman does. And then to have a bad guy character come in, like she's even got the bad hair and she's flicking it, and she comes in and starts doing it too. And
Oh yeah, it was like something out of The Craft.
I haven't seen something like that in a while. I'll
You
put
know
it
what I
that way.
mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, and I loved it. And Steve's fighting the CIA guys, and now he's fighting them, and then and then he handcuffs himself to that whole sequence, the White House
I think they were
sequence.
Secret Service.
Yeah, Secret Service, and then how he learns a new fight move, and I've always liked the lasso. I even liked how it looked in Batman v Superman when Zack Snyder
Yeah,
did it. I've
she's
always,
she's using it like Spider-Man now.
yeah, the lasso's cool. like Wonder Woman's like slide thing, like the running always looks fucking retarded and stupid, the running she does, but the slide thing, the slide move and the lasso moves, I dig quite a bit visually. The lasso's actually pretty badass in the Wonder Woman movies. Um, but we got to talk about this sequence. This is when I knew this movie was going to be something special.
Okay, what
Because
was it?
we haven't talked about it yet. The opening fucking sequence with little girl Diana and
Oh yeah,
Mascara. The like tournament game thing where, Robin writes
Robin
back.
Wright,
Yeah,
you
and
back.
and that whole sequence immediately, I was like, it made me think of that movie, The Phantom with Billy Zane or something like that. Like, I was like, what is this? This feels like a 90s movie.
It reminded me of Jungle to Jungle with Tim Allen.
I
Is that
immediately,
weird?
no,
Is that
no,
out there?
not at all. That immediately took me off guard because it starts and I go, here we go, a shitty opening sequence, and this movie's going to be horrible. Everyone keeps saying this movie's bad. I was blown away. That sequence is fucking amazing. It's so goddamn ridiculous. I mean, it's the way it all plays out that she's a little girl and there's all these adult women and she's going through everything and she's ahead of all of them, and then the way she like cheats and takes a shortcut, and then when she's about to throw that goddamn like fucking javelin thing through the hole, and then she gets knocked out and stopped, and this the way the little girl actress is like, no, no, I would have won, and she's like, you didn't do it right, Diana. And
You cheating bitch.
the tone of that sequence and the way it's directed, the way the choreography and the special effects and everything looks, it's insane. It sets the movie up perfectly. Like, this is the kind of like that immediately had me go, huh?
You're in for something that's simultaneously poorly put together and poorly crafted, but so well crafted and like accidentally put together in this incredibly amusing form. It's such an amusing movie.
It's
And
a,
I
it's a,
feel like Patty Jenkins feels bad about making it. It's like this set women back like 10 years. I feel
yeah,
like that's how a lot of people are taking it.
yes, yeah. I think, I remember Tarantino talked about the Bonfire of the Vanities one time with Charlie Rose, and he said that's a kind of bad movie that a great filmmaker would make. Like De Palma's so talented that it's not a bad movie that a bad filmmaker would make. This is the only thing that happens when really good bad movies happen. This is when you get like a Troll 2 or something, or it's people that have good intentions and they just mess up somewhere, but they're trying to make a good movie. They're not trying to make a bad movie. I don't think Patty Jenkins, the cast, or anyone working on this was trying to make anything else but like $1 billion great sequel to Wonder Woman that everybody was going to love, because everybody, that first movie was like a big movie and it kind of brought DC back after Snyder, and then Aquaman was a big hit, and
Shazam.
Shazam, and the fact that they all put clearly a lot of effort and money and time into this movie and it came out like this. I mean, it's just magic, man. I'm so glad you feel the same way I do. I had such a good time watching this movie. Like, I was so entertained. I couldn't believe it. By the time I got to the end when she's fighting Cheetah and he's screaming in the laser beam thing when I couldn't, and he's just pushing her away with wind, and
And
that
finally she lassos him with the, lasso of truth, and ties him up, and he has to, have his heartfelt speech.
yeah, and he sees his son, and then everybody gives up their wish, and then he gives up his wish, and then he gets reunited with his son, who's just hanging out in the woods somewhere, and he gets in a helicopter, and the kid's a terrible fucking actor.
Oh
And
yeah, it's beautiful.
I mean, it's everything about that, the relationship with the son, Kristen Wiig's character, and her arc, and the way everyone treats her. Chris Pine in this movie, and the way that he has to leave the tragedy of it. Diana flying and learning how to fly and lasso, and then the way it even ends, that she talks to that guy romantically, and it's like Christmas time, snowing and stuff, and then she's like flying.
It looks like a romantic comedy at that point.
No, and I think
It
she's
really
like her
does.
best looking in that scene too, with the makeup and everything, and that end part with that guy. And
Really.
yeah, well, just like because so much of the movie, like she's kind of Gal Gadot. A lot of the time, she has to act tough or kind of sad. Like I really like how happy she is in that scene, smiling and stuff like that. Like I like her like that. She seems like a very if there's a
Yeah, I just
charm.
didn't like that outfit on her.
Yeah, if there's a charm that she has, I think she's a very genuine person and a very like good-willed person. I mean, she did that cringy Imagine thing. You have to have like no self-awareness to do something like
Didn't
that.
Kristen Wiig also do that?
Yeah, she was in it. Yeah, but that
Oh man, superhero team up.
but Gal Donut launched that, and I I just think that's who she is. It's almost like she's not a great actress, but she's like great for Wonder Woman because she kind of has this like sincerity about her.
This
That's
movie is kind of like her. It's not self-aware,
yeah,
and
100%.
that's beautiful. You know,
Um,
it's like someone saying something really stupid in a very sincere way,
and
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 that's just
and
beautiful.
it's just pretty enough to be okay, you know.
Yeah, they're she's just pretty enough to get away with it, you know?
Yet just enough. But
It's yeah.
I'll say a few things before we wrap up because I think we've encapsulated this movie pretty well. And we seem to feel the same way because really, I mean, we could go into the plot and how it makes no fucking sense, and Pedro Pascal's plan is fucking stupid, and the scenes are and the acting and all that. But like, I took this away from this movie: the Chris Pine coming back thing, the Steve thing, and the '80s thing, and the way those scenes are directed. I actually think some of those scenes, without talking about it the way we are, I actually think some of those scenes are genuinely good and hint at a movie that this could have been. I'm glad we got this movie, but I actually think those like him being in the '80s and her showing him around stuff. I actually think some of that stuff's. It reminds me of like Mannequin and other these movies from like the '80s and stuff like that. I like that they didn't try to go like the Spielberg or Stephen King kind of Gremlins route like a lot of '80s stuff does. They went a different kind of '80s movie, and a lot of '80s movies that I like. I like him trying the outfits on. I like the escalator. I like the trash can. I like them flying. I wanted more of that stuff. I really liked them hanging
Yeah.
out.
They went Starman.
It was Starman, and I really because he was a fish out of water. She's the fish out of water in the first movie, and a brilliant thing here is that he's a fish out of water in the '80s, and he doesn't, and that he's amazed by how far like technology's come.
Yeah, when all this little CRTV computers turn on, he's like, amazing. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a cheap joke, but it made me smile,
he has
you know?
he has a wonder in his eyes, Chris Pine, in this movie. That's just it's just charming. I don't think I think he plays the cheese and everything going on kind of the right note, where everyone else is sort of over the top or good and bad. I think he actually finds the perfect note for this movie. He kind of works in every part, even when it's over the top silly, just sort of makes it work. Um,
Yeah.
he, he
When when it
he's a big
goes
strength.
for oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he walks away with the movie. Um it does achieve like at the end where it's trying to be serious and epic and all the nukes are flying
Oh,
and
it's
they're flying
insane.
so slowly you could just watch them and it achieves true bathos where it in its attempt to be emotionally moving it is actually hysterical and
I love the Batman Forever or like Spider-Man 3 comparisons or things like that. I agree it's in that ballpark. I think of it. Yeah, like the Tobey Maguire emo stuff in Spider-Man 3, which is just aged great. Like everyone talked about how bad that was, and now that's like the greatest meme, and we all love it.
yeah
I think
we
this
all owe Sam Raimi something for that.
I think this is going to be a similar thing where people are going to shit on this, and I think 5 years from now, people are going to be talking about how like we're going to be seeing memes of some of these scenes, and we're going to be so happy that it happened.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that would prevent that is that I don't know how many people saw this. You know.
I have to think because it had a decent opening weekend. It opened to 16 million in a COVID world. Like we have to include that, but this would have opened to over $100 million. But it had the highest opening in COVID, and then it had this huge drop. But they had said that most people watched it on HBO Max. I have to assume a lot of people watched it at least this last week or couple weeks. I don't know how many people. I don't think the word of mouth is good. But you have to assume millions of people watched it on HBO. I mean, there's no way, or torrented it or something.
Yeah.
People watch this movie. It's just the kind of movie if it came on late at night on cable, and I was like halfway in, I'd finish it.
Oh yeah, it's cozy. It's one of those fall asleep movies.
I know. That's the thing. I was so taken aback that it was that kind of movie. That it's like a cozy fall asleep late at night HBO movie, and it's perfect on HBO Max. This is the first thing HBO Max has put on that's HBO Max exclusive. That's perfect for
You
their
know, it's
platform.
exactly. You know, it's not dissimilar from What Women Want. A
Like,
very underrated movie.
like fuck the.
Like a guy gets godlike
I
powers,
know.
and yet he doesn't want them, and he becomes kind of like the man he should be with them,
No, if
where he can hear women's
if
voices
if
or their
Nan
inner thoughts.
if Nancy Myers had directed this or something, like it makes me want Patty Jenkins to do a rom com with Chris Pine. Like I want that movie now. The greatest unrecorded commentary ever is that time we watched What Women Want together on Skype at 4 in the
Oh
morning.
my God.
We
Yeah.
the sun was coming up when it was over because
Somehow we were sober
we both love that movie, and you're like, let's
ish.
watch What Women Want. You remember that line? Are you allergic to listening? No, our breakdown of the early thing, the Mel Gibson scenes where he's just in the apartment by himself, like watching TV and throwing the hat before he starts putting the lingerie on. Our commentary for that was like so. That was so much fun to watch that with you.
I know.
And
God, that was years ago.
that was like 2.5 years. Yeah, I still admit.
He's dancing to Frank Sinatra. God, I want to watch that movie now.
Yeah, we were talking about Helen Hunt. Like, is this definitive Helen Hunt?
Oh yeah, that's peak Helen Hunt.
But yeah, you could have thrown Helen Hunt in this movie. I mean, I think you could have thrown more pieces in this movie. I mean, fuck it. There was. I'll say this: nobody coming away from this movie. I don't like anyone less. I don't like Chris Pine any. I like him more. I think Kristen Wiig, Pedro Pascal, Gal Gadot, everybody. I think everyone's gonna come out of this bad for their careers, and I don't feel that way. I like everybody more that was in
Yeah,
this movie. Like I think the fact that they all play it this way, that they all showed comedy chops, all of them, that they could be in a and I know Kristen Wiig could do comedy, and I know, but like Pedro Pascal, man, he's like missing his calling in like yeah,
yeah. He should be. I mean, he should be like Jeremy Irons. He should be
yeah.
the Hispanic Jeremy Irons of just screaming shit.
No, this is Dungeons and Dragons shit, man. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
this was. I mean, I lost my mind. I couldn't believe how over the top he went. I mean, he went full Pacino in Heat. I mean, it was
Yeah, he went
glorious.
full Pacino without having the subtle early years.
I know he just went. I mean, he did it quickly. Because for him this had to be a big deal. Like, oh, I'm gonna be in the new Wonder Woman movie. I'm the bad guy. And for Kristen Wiig, this had to be a big deal. And everyone's hating the movie. And it's probably going to be bad for their careers. Like I think Gal Gadot's going to be fine because she's Wonder
Well, I think
Woman.
this is probably fine for Kirsten Wiig's career. I mean,
I don't know. After Bridesmaids, she's had a
it's a
pretty
good
rough.
movie.
She's had a rough go at it because Bridesmaids was this
Yeah, but
big hit. She got an Oscar nom for screenplay. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Um, it makes like $300 million, and then she's Ghostbusters, and now this movie had to go to streaming, and it's getting bad reviews. I feel
yeah,
bad.
but this movie, it's big. People are going to see her in it and think, "Hey, Kirsten Wiig again."
But yeah, from the opening scene to the early parts with Kristen Wiig, like dropping the files on the floor, Chris Pine coming in out of nowhere at the party, that amazing party sequence with Pedro Pascal stealing the stone. Everything with the kid, yeah, everything with Reagan and Star Wars and the nuclear missiles going off and the foreign intrigue, all that shit going on.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I mean when the Arab guy actually wishes for his homeland and a giant magical stone wall erupts around the entire country. This is a movie where that happens.
oh my
And
God.
his bodyguards then fight an Israeli woman.
I know,
And yet no one would ever take it seriously.
I know. She saves kids. I mean, the mall sequence with the teddy bear. I mean,
Oh,
everything is
yeah.
like mwah, mwah. I mean, I
Mwah.
just could,
Yeah.
and then just to get to the final cheetah.
It's like watching a 90s romantic comedy.
Yeah,
Like if uh Bittersweet Symphony played over the credits, it would make sense.
that's all it was missing. Because I remember in the first trailer they were playing Blue Monday by New Order,
Yeah,
and it
that
was
badass symphonic version of
yeah,
Blue
and it
Monday.
was like, holy shit, this is gonna be awesome. And like, if there's one thing that let me down, it was just like there wasn't enough songs. Like this needed songs. Like
Yeah.
this movie would
Why
be
was this even set in the 80s if you weren't going to put Karma Chameleon in that montage?
no, because it barely leans in the fact that it's the '80s or it just does that stuff with Chris Pine. But it's like, yeah, where was the? I mean, this is a $200 million movie. Like, where's the Haircut 100? Where is it? I need it.
Exactly.
Where's the Kajagoogoo? I mean, I don't know why there wasn't a soundtrack more of this movie. Yeah, where was the New Order? I mean, when she's
She
flying,
drives me
yeah,
crazy.
that's the thing. If she, oh yeah, is
Well, I
she
don't think that would have been out in
is she
84.
really going out with him? Is she really?
Yeah, the cars should have been in this.
When she's flying, the fact that a song doesn't play just pisses me
Take
off.
on Me.
No,
They should be dancing to Take on Me when they first meet.
I mean Deadpool has more songs. I don't. Why?
Deadpool is packed full of
Why
songs.
wasn't there a
There's
huge? This should have like a Guardians of the Galaxy, soundtrack. I mean, I can't. I almost want to go re-edit this and add songs on my computer.
that's what it needs. Can the thumbnail for this video be our tagline for it? Wonder Woman 84, one three-way away from a 10 star, 10 out of 10.
No, if this would have had the three-way with Cheetah, and then if it would have had, yeah, Karma Chameleon. Let's go through that right now. I have a few questions I want to ask you. I have things that I thought about. Okay, here's my one. During Pedro Pascal's big wish around the world thing, this is my big throw out to you. What would you wish for?
I mean, what if he might have been, he was tricking most of those people
I,
into
I,
like,
I'm
just
asking you
think of
though.
some wish.
Let me ask you. This is just the thing.
If I had to monkey's paw something,
If you
what the
had,
fuck would he want from me? I don't know.
I'm asking you if
You
you could,
think he
if
would
you,
have made himself younger?
I'm asking you if you could get a wish granted. What would you? Let's say that someone's like, if you don't know that it's a monkey's paw, someone says like, I can grant any wish you want. What would be your
I would
wish?
want like that. I'll tell you exactly what my wish would be. Very specific. I would want that Wolverine superpower of never dying and just staying young forever.
That's a good one. Yeah,
That's what I would
what
want.
if somebody would have said to him like, I wish to be the wishing stone, or like, I wish for you to die?
I wish to also be able to grant wishes.
Like, what if Wonder Woman at the end, when she like took her wish back, if she got a wish back, and she was just like, "Okay, I wish for you to stop," or does he have? I guess he has control of whether or not he grants the wish.
I guess.
I didn't really get the logic of it. Like, does he?
There's no logic to it,
I
man.
didn't get the wish rules of this movie very
There's more
well.
logic to Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors.
Okay, so that's that's your wish. My number two asks you is like,
What would yours be?
see, I thought they could add more fun with this because I had one in my head. Because I actually think if this had been a more clever movie, which I'm glad it wasn't, but if they actually had really done some crazy shit, because it's actually a pretty crazy premise. You could have done stuff like John Lennon never gets shot, and John Lennon's in this movie alive, and there's a Beatles reunion in 1984. Like, this movie could have
They
really,
write a terrible 80s song.
yeah, and it's in the movie.
Yeah.
It's like Ed Sheeran writes a bad Beatles song for this movie. Um,
Yeah, and Julian Lennon sings it with Paul McCartney.
I mean, I just got to be upfront. I mean, I don't see how I avoid it. I'd probably go with the big dick wish. I mean, at this, the Doctor Manhattan penis, and he'd be like, "Then I take for." I don't know what he would take from me, but
He'd take from you your balls.
yeah, he could have my
He'd
balls
have
if
four.
he could
He'd have
take.
a set of six
He could
under
take. He
there.
could take my balls if I got a 13-inch dick. I mean, that's fair. I'm not gonna
He takes
really.
your ability to get an erection.
It's like that movie Bedazzled. The devil grants the wishes, but then
Oh yeah,
they all don't work out.
Dudley Moore.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish for a big dick. What am I talking? That just makes it sound like I have a really small penis. But that's all that sounds like. I'm trying to think of what I would actually wish for. Because it would be hard not to wish for, like, yeah, immortality or some shit like that. Or something that would be, like, really useful.
Yeah, immortality seems really useful.
Yeah, I think that'd be a useful thing to have. Well, what's the song you'd really like in this, though, and in what scene? Was there like...
Does it have to be available in 1984?
I think
Or
it
could I
should.
put anything?
I think it should make sense. I mean, if you could put anything, I would have put more '90s music in this personally. Which I can't wait for Wonder Woman 1993, but or '96 with like Third Eye Blind. But I assume it has to be a song from like 1984 or before. It's got to make sense within the context of the movie.
I mean, I'm trying to think what would really work with it. I'm thinking like Just What I Needed,
I think that's
but
fantastic. That's a great
it's
choice.
Raining Men.
Oh.
Um,
Oh.
trying to think of some good 80s songs that belong in here. Again, I would have put Aha.
Yeah, I mean you have to do that. I mean that goes without saying. I'll
Life During Wartime could have been slid in here.
I'll throw a couple in there. I think if one of the fight scenes would have had "Come on Eileen" in it,
Oh yeah.
that could have been a lot of fun. Some Dexy's Midnight Runners. I think the White House fight or the road fight in the desert with "Come on Eileen," if they were listening to it on the radio, and it was just playing when she was like Marty McFlying on the back of that truck. If she was rocketing on
And
the
why no Huey Lewis?
yes, some sports. Yeah, it's hip to be square. The Power of Love
Yeah.
actually would have been great.
I
Even
want
though
a
it's
new drug.
The Power of Love could
Well,
have been
he's always
fucking
doing these
awesome.
vitamins. He's taking these vitamins. I was never really clear on that. Were the vitamins because
Yeah.
his father
Oh,
beat him?
in the air tonight. The
Oh
drum
man.
the drum part could have kicked in. Like it could have been it could have been a montage. And yeah, that would have been fucking amazing. Like if she put the gold armor on and she was flying, if she was flying, I know what you did. It's all been a pack of lies. Yeah, that would have been badass. It would have been like Risky Business. Some Tangerine Dream music.
Yeah, Billy Joel,
Oh, dude, Uptown Girl.
Anthony's song.
Oh my
We Didn't
god.
Start the Fire
We
would have
did-
fit
yeah.
perfectly in this movie.
Yeah.
It could have ended with We Didn't Start
For
the Fire.
for the longest time.
Oh, for the longest time, yeah.
Oh my god, with her and Steve going around. If they'd have
Yeah.
been walking around for the longest time. Or if that was playing during the 4th of July sequence. Oh, dude. This movie
There could have been some Elvis Costello in here.
Yeah. Yeah, Allison, Pump It Up.
Yeah, Pump It Up should have been in the
Yeah.
getting dress sequence.
Yeah, why wasn't
Could have
Pump?
been.
Yeah, why wasn't there a song like that playing during the dress sequence?
I mean,
Or Cruel Summer, something. You know, I was really weird. I was really weirded out
just
about that.
something, yeah.
Yeah, just give me anything.
Why set it in '84 if you aren't gonna bombard me
or
with
like
80s
or do something
songs?
really cool, like do like fucking Psychedelic Furs or something. You know, Love My Way. You know, like just throw me for a loop. Pretty in Pink, throw that in there.
Born in the USA,
Oh my.
1984.
Oh, Dancing in the Dark. I know it was late 70s.
Dancing in the Dark.
That should
Oh
have
my
been in
god.
this movie. Dun, 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 dun.
Dude, half of side B.
This gun's for
Like, I'm going
hire.
down, Bobby Jean, Glory Days. All
Yeah.
of those could have been on this.
I think you could have just used the Fast Time soundtrack, honestly. I mean, every song, Somebody's Baby could have been in this. No question.
True. True.
Uh,
The Go-Go's.
the Dream Police. I mean, there was plenty of room for the Dream Police to be thrown in here. Uh, yeah, the soundtrack was the biggest disappointment. Um, God damn, I'm just thinking about it now. Like, I'm gonna do that edit, dude. I'm gonna download this movie and edit that fuck that music, and I'll send you a copy. We'll
Thank
work.
you.
We'll work on that.
Burn me one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna burn you that mixtape, baby. This is gonna be the best music video you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. Wonder Woman 84, the mixtape.
It's
I
gonna
want that
it's gonna be
cassette.
like
I would,
listen.
yeah.
It's gonna be like explosions in the sky. Like I'm definitely getting laid. Like there's
Yeah.
no question. Like you put that on and it's over. Yeah,
Nothing gets you laid like explosions in the sky.
this is like a background movie, man. I feel like I could have this on while I'm making corn chowder. I mean,
I
it's
thought you were
just
going to say making love, and I was going to agree.
yeah, that too. I'll think about that. This might be one of my
There
make.
could have been some cheap trick in here,
Yeah,
like
that's what I was
voices.
saying. Dream Police, man. Like there's some cheap trick in here.
So many missed
The
opportunities.
Scorpions,
Christopher Guest,
Hurricane, like yeah, Christopher Guest should have definitely been
Ride
in.
Like the Wind
Yeah, ride
should have
like
been playing.
when she's flying, you could have done ride like the wind for sure. That would have been badass. Sailing when the sun's coming up and
There are
Kristen
like
Wiig's looking.
10 songs by The Clash that could have been in
Yeah,
here.
this could have been the movie to do all Lost in the Supermarket. Chris Pine could have been lost in a supermarket. They could have been that literal. It doesn't have to be maybe some David Bowie Modern Love.
Yeah. Shit, when can a movie use that?
Yeah, Modern
Yeah,
Love
you could have
always.
stuck Spanish bombs in there.
Yeah,
The Man
exactly.
Who Sold the World. I mean,
I
that would have
know.
fit in.
Heroes, even though it's a '70s song, but fuck it, it's
Yeah,
Wonder
I mean,
Woman.
yeah, 70 songs are perfectly fine.
Yeah, people were still listening to the '70s and the '80s. I would. I mean, I would have loved some like Bay City Rollers.
Sunglasses at Night, Corey Hart.
Hmm. Ooh, oh, okay. That's fantastic. I love that song. I love that he's like I listen to it a lot at work and I love that the premise of the song was like, don't mess around with the guy and Shade's like, whoa, this guy's a badass. He wears sunglasses at night. Which is actually ridiculous. Like let's say you're on a motorcycle, you're driving and you're wearing sunglasses at night. It's pretty dangerous, but not with Corey Hart.
No, he's in the sidecar of the
I'll
motorcycle.
take I'll take that and I'll raise you. I just died in your arms tonight.
Ooh.
That should have been in here too. Like when him and her start making out and stuff like that, when they're gonna bang at that guy's house
Yeah.
that they're staying at, that they're squatting in. If they'd have kissed and just out of nowhere, I just died in your arms. Ooh, the Cure.
Although I don't think that was out by 84. Yeah,
The
The Cure, man.
boys don't.
Kiss me, kiss me, kiss
Yeah,
me.
Friday I'm in love. Friday I'm in love would have been fantastic in this movie.
There's so many you could have used.
Yeah, boys don't cry.
I think all the stuff off of Disintegration would
Oh
be
my God,
dark.
love song. That would have been a perfect
Oh,
end credit
yeah.
song.
Yeah, love song. Oh,
That would have been great with her and Steve.
why can't I be you? I mean, that's exactly Kirsten Wiig's character.
I know. No, I love that she does become Chitara from Thundercats. I mean, it's so funny because it's just exactly what it is. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, it was like, yeah, it's like Cats the movie or Island. I made me think of the '90s Island Dr. Monroe with Val Kilmer.
Dr. Moreau.
Dr. Monroe.
Dr. Monroe is the doctor in The Simpsons
Oh, that's right.
that dies.
That dies. Oh, in the
Yeah.
movie?
No. Dr. Monroe, the character, dies in The Simpsons.
Okay. Because there's that doctor who dies in the movie. They're like, hey, everybody. Remember he dies
Dr.
in
Nick?
yeah, he dies in the Simpsons movie and then he's not on the show anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they kill him off. They kept saying they were
Let's
gonna
Dance could have been in
they
this,
kept
man.
saying they're
Under
gonna
Pressure?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Under Pressure. That should be in everything. It's in everything except this movie.
It's a cinematic song, man.
I know. Okay, so my other thing, do you have a fictional superhero you've thought up that you think would deserve its own movie?
A fictional superhero?
Yeah, have you made up a, well, I guess they're all fictional. I don't know why I'm saying there's a real superhero. Uh, that was kind of oxymoron. But
Phoenix Jones.
yeah,
Look him
Phoenix.
up.
I've
I want
often
to see a movie about that
I've
motherfucker.
often thought about a superhero called Two Job Man, where he has two jobs and he's too busy to fight crime. Like it's kind of based off a guy I know that I worked with, and he would always complain about how he had two jobs, and you always thought, is he at the other job? Is he complaining about this job? But I thought about it. It's like, I'm two job man. And he shows up and there's some kid there and he's like, hey, two job man, my loved one and family members have been kidnapped by a villain named the Kraken. He's going to kill them if I don't do something. I'd like to help you, but I have to get to work.
Or if he speaks English very poorly, he could be Two Job Man, TOO.
Yeah. Or they're just like,
And that Dinosaur Jr.'s cover of Just Like Heaven.
there's
Or just the Cure's Just Like Heaven.
there's a fire, two job man. Sorry, I just worked a double. And I work another double tomorrow. Busy,
I don't know. I have a
busy. Lots to do. I've got a
I have
lot to
a
do.
few superheroes that I've thought of,
I'm in
but
overtime right now. Can't save you. Sorry. I have to go to work.
I work 60 hours a week.
That's us.
Two part-time jobs
Yeah,
won't pay my mortgage.
I think that's so funny. He's just, can you help me? Sorry. Why did you even show up? Just to say hello. I have to get back to work on break.
Dawn Henley. All she wants to do is dance.
Was Boys of Summer 84 or before?
Boys of Summer, man. That could be in every movie also.
I mean, that could just be a movie. I mean, there is a movie called Boys of Summer, but I would just listen to that song as a movie. Go when you're in a car driving and it's like nice out and Boys of Summer comes on, you feel alive.
Nobody's on the road.
Yeah.
Nobody's on the beach.
Yeah. Oh,
Man,
I'm
on
thinking.
the road today, I saw a Wonder Woman sticker on a Cadillac.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll talk about the sound. I love this conversation, but this is just turning into us just like, hey, let's throw out 80 songs. 80 songs for this is like a TNT like movies for guys who like chick flicks. Friday night TNT classic. What songs do you think should be in Wonder Woman 1984?
I picture your fiance really hating this movie.
Here's a top 10 from 1984. Here's the top 10 love songs from 1984.
Crocodile Rock.
Presented by Pat and Blood Money. Number 10. Hey there, kids. Hope you're having a warm night with a loved one. We're going to play you some of the classics from this summer. Hope there's some guy out there who's taking over some other guy's body and is now being raped by his old girlfriend from World War One. Hope you're living in the guy's apartment. This one goes out to you. And if there's any cheetah ladies...
Doesn't Wonder Woman have some awesome house to stay in or something?
And for any cheetah ladies out there, it's okay to be alone. I'd pick those files up for you, darling. I know. Yeah, no,
Tears for Fears starts playing.
Oh, dude, shit. Everybody Wants to Rule the World or something like that. Yeah, this should have been like Donnie Darko. Yeah, why did they go to that guy's place? Why don't they go to her house? Why did they go to the guy's place and then he's in the mirror and he's like, I like this guy. He's got it. And she's like, he's great, but all I see is you.
It's weird, man.
I guess it's sort of a three-way because it's like she's fucking two guys, really.
A devil's three-way.
Yeah, the devil was involved in
Or for
she.
her, it's Hades three-way.
But that's the thing. I didn't really know the setup at the end. Was it like, is she gonna bang this guy at the end? Like now that he's,
It's heavily implied.
because she's like, all right, well, I need to move on, and she's a woman, and you know, women are men. As soon as your boyfriend's gone, it doesn't take very long. They rebound quick.
Especially if he died
Yeah,
and he was the only person you ever loved, and 70 years later, he's reborn into another man's body
yeah.
and
Did she,
then
did she
has to
not
die
have
again.
did she not have sex for 70 years?
I think it's heavily implied. She didn't have sex for 70
For
years.
those of you out there tonight that haven't had sex in 70 years,
Well,
this is
I'll
for
put it this
you.
way. She does come from an island of all women.
I mean, I'd only be having sex in that time. Yeah, I know that the lesbian aspect of the Amazons. It's just like,
Well,
yeah,
what do you
but
mean?
well, there's
I
always
thought they
that.
were abstinent.
There's always that joke that they're But here's the thing. Okay, I agree with you, but
I know. I'm joking.
she got dick. Once you go down that road, you ain't going backwards. She's not gonna stop getting dick after she's had some. Now I get that it's a Chris Pine dick, so it's of a fine, quality. But
Did they have sex in the first movie?
I really don't remember. I'm gonna say yes.
I don't remember.
I remember I
Honestly.
remember him getting the lasso of truth sequence on Almascara, and that was great. I remember like that kind of stuff about that movie, but I don't remember. And I remember the over the top bad guy, which is more in line with this movie. But I'm just gonna say they had sex off camera or something like that because they seem way too comfortable having sex in this movie. But yeah, did she go that long without getting laid, and now she's like, I'm gonna fuck again? Like, I have
Or is
to?
she now like romantically scarred? Is she
Well,
now dealing with
well, cause this is
the
weird.
reality of having sex with some random guy
Because the timeline of this, the only thing that you can really compare it
that
to
might
is
have AIDS?
it's like the X-Men Michael Fassbender series where it's like First Class and it's the 60s and then you jump ahead to the 70s. This is the only other superhero franchise that's sort of like this where it's like it's World War One and now we're in the 80s. Like it's about Wonder Woman going through time, like the mutants. And I like these period piece superhero films. I've kind of
Yeah,
liked
she should
all of
jump
them.
back to like 1961 and prevent
Although
JFK from being
you
assassinated
could
in like
pull it off.
63.
You could do Wonder Woman 1999
Oh yeah.
or Wonder Woman like
Open
WW99.
all
Like
that needs is some third eye blind, man.
she fights the Y2K bug.
Yes, she's why Y2K didn't happen.
Pedro
She
Pascal
goes into the internet and it looks like 90s internet.
Pedro Pascal becomes the Y2K bug.
Yeah, it's like that movie Summer Wars,
It's like Digimon the movie when they fight in the
which is
internet.
exactly like Summer Wars, same
Yeah.
director.
Yeah, they fight in the internet. Yeah, she's an AOL Instant Messenger. I would love a late
Yeah.
90s internet
She's in
movie.
dial up.
Yeah. It's called Wonder Woman Dial Up. You've got
And
mail.
this young hacker is helping her out, named Lex Luthor, or some dumb shit like that, you know?
Well, that's the thing. How is this going to tie into Batman v Superman and like Justice League and all that? This is so weird now. Like where do we end up with the Wonder Woman character? I think about that too because it's like a Batman v Superman. Nobody knows she exists, so
How
she's
was
just.
sex with Wonder Woman? I mean, he didn't look injured.
It's hard not to go to the Mallrats conversation with like the
Well,
suit.
that's Superman, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I have to imagine it's pretty good. I I can't. Although she might not know anything. She hasn't had sex. She might be like a dead fuck. I hate to say it, but
Yeah, I don't know if they teach you that on the island of
yeah.
lesbians.
If unless it's like a Blue Lagoon thing, like where they're like
Or maybe
teach.
she's been studying it for 70 years.
Yeah, maybe she's like, whoa, this is like God tier. But it does. If you can get with a beautiful woman, and if she doesn't know what she's doing, man, I mean, it could happen. So I don't know. She may have just laid there and like done that thing where she wrapped his arms around his neck and stared in his eyes a lot and didn't do anything. She gave him a blowjob while he had a condom on. You know, that kind of shit. I mean, just you know, I mean,
Wonder Woman does not use a condom.
he was
Not with Steve
I
Trevor.
mean, he seemed really into
Although
that.
she probably should have.
He was really into that. Yeah, what if she got pregnant, but it was with the other dude's sperm? Would it be
Yeah.
Steve's sperm?
Would the baby be immortal?
Oh, this is also interesting. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, what if what if at the end she was like she like took a pregnancy test and she was pregnant and then she like has to
Yeah.
go tell this
That's a
guy.
stinger. That's
She,
a post-credit scene.
she tells this guy like, "Hey, I raped you." And now we're going to have an immortal baby together. Well, I loved all that too, like how like she's just like my father told me about this so I could make a jet invisible, or like there was this great warrior with armor. Hey, I have to go get this armor. I loved how they just threw shit in here, just cause like
Yeah.
we need
I mean,
it.
and in the post-credit sequence, it was God, it was the original Wonder Woman shows up and is the ancient warrior still alive? Did you see that?
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Yeah, she was also in Sky High too. I remember
Man, Sky High.
Mary
Talk about a classic.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That was my favorite X Men movie
Linda
for
Carter.
that was my favorite X Men movie for years. You know,
Man,
but
Sky High.
oh, dude,
Ahead of its time.
that's when I fell in love with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That's true. That movie was like 10, 15 years too soon. Like it made money and people really do. Because I remember time being like a
Kurt Russell's in it,
I
man. Bruce
remember I
Campbell.
remember being like a superhero comic book fan at the time, and there wasn't a lot. People seem to forget this like pre superhero movie world, but like a movie like Sky High when it came out was like I remember going to the theater, hadn't didn't know anything about the movie, and I came out and I was like, I love that. It was like a perfect Nickelodeon movie or something. It was like no, I think it's great. I rewatched it a few years ago and it really held up. Like really and just the idea of like because that's the thing that we've never really got with any of the X-Men movies is actually the kids at the school with superpowers. It's
And
like,
we never got Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
oh my god. I mean that was when the crush started, bro. I think for a lot of guys was that one when she's in that movie. It's like she's so pretty. She's got an anime girl face. Her eyes and shit. It's like I have a theory why everyone I know who doesn't like the Scott Pilgrim movie, I've come to this theory over years because I really like it and I know some people do, but I have a lot of friends, my male friends, who hate the Scott Pilgrim movie. And we always get discussions about it. And they really don't ever have a good reason for disliking the movie. They either compare it to the comic or they give me some bullshit that doesn't make sense. And I have a theory, and I think it's accurate. I think it's a player hating thing. I think all the guys who don't like that movie cannot stand that Michael Cera's fucking a Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it, and they won't admit to
What?
themselves that it bothers them that he's kissing Mary Elizabeth Winstead and stuff in the lingerie. It's like,
Michael Cera is pretty poor casting in that.
but I think the factor of her being Ramona makes it worse for dudes who don't like it because in real
Hmm.
life, if you saw Michael Cera with her, that would piss you off.
Yeah, yeah. That would incite some sort of caveman rage in my lizard
No,
brain.
it'd be like, oh. Yeah, you'd like bash a rock. You grab like the bone from 2001. You
Yeah,
know,
throw it straight into his
yeah.
head.
So I think when people see him and her together, like the guys I know don't like them, they can't. I think there's something subconsciously that's like it's just wired where they're like, this doesn't compute. I can't stand this. You know, it's like when I found out that him and Aubrey Plaza dated for a while in real life, and that pissed me off. I was like,
Oh God, I did not know that, and I'm so fucking pissed
I
off right
shouldn't. I
now.
shouldn't have told you. That's like telling you Santa's not
Oh,
real. Because the way she described it,
man.
she's like, he's like a creature, you know, and I'm like a dude. Do you remember when Superbad Juno came out? All these girls wanted to fuck Michael Cera, like it was a
Yeah,
thing. They even make
yeah,
fun of
man.
it, and this is the end where all the girls like him, and Seth Rogen and them are like, "What?" She's like,
Yeah,
"He's." I,
yeah. I'm aware of that.
it was him and Shia LaBeouf around that time. It was like 2007. Every girl I knew, because I was a
I don't
teenager,
remember Shia LaBeouf at that point.
2007 when Transformers came out and Disturbia, it was 2007. It was the same year of like June and Superbad were like that year or the year after. It was the same
Oh
era.
yeah,
And every
I remember
girl
Michael Cera was there was a big thing. There was a
every
lot of Michael Cera hatred after that. A lot of
yeah.
anti Michael Cera.
No, it was like 2 years later it completely turned and then like he never was in it. But girls I remember girls saying stuff to me like I want to touch him. Like
A
super
lot of
hot.
girls were into Seth Rogen too.
Yeah, but at least he's kind of like funny and charming and writes and is smart. I mean, he's ugly, but like, I like Seth Rogen. I'd like to be friends with Seth Rogen. Probably seems like a cool guy. But Michael Cera, I just remember it was mind blowing that he was like a sex symbol for like a year.
He should have never grown that mustache.
Because I'll say this: Michael Cera in Superbad, I get the appeal. As like like he's really good in that movie because he doesn't project. Most actors project and try. He actually that's a very like he does a lot inward work. He pulls everything kind of back, and that's why it works. Because Jonah Hill's projecting, and there's a nice balance there. But I don't. Yeah, Michael Cera is one of those weird careers where that guy was like at top of the world for like 1 year. Like he probably.
And then he was in Twin Peaks.
I know that's the worst part of Twin Peaks: The Return. Jay,
Yep, it is.
when the Red Letter Media did the review of it recently, the two-parter, they didn't even bring that part up.
Oh, well, thank God.
They didn't even
I hate
mention.
that I just brought it up, but
I
it needs to be
I mean, I
addressed.
just told you that Aubrey Plaza, that Michael Cera banged her, so there's worse. I mean,
Oh God.
that's like he did bang Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I mean, it's that kind of level. It's like because my goddesses are like Aubrey Plaza, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. They're top tier for me. You know, uh, their faces, their personality, them as actresses. I love both of them. I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead's actually a great actress, and she should have been in more slasher movie. She's like the great scream queen we didn't get.
Yeah, Phoebe Cates.
Yeah, she's
We
like
have very similar tastes,
she's
good
got
sir.
she's also very I know, yeah, Phoebe Cates, especially Phoebe Cates in Fast Times. I know she's too good.
Or Gremlins, you
She's
know.
too good. We've talked about in Fast Times. She's too good looking. It's distracting.
Yeah,
It's uncomfortable how attractive she is in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I know. I mean, it should have a warning like really salty food. You know, if you have high blood pressure problems, don't
Because I can't
watch
think of
this
a movie
part.
where a chick that good looking who looks that good in a movie actually shows some nudity in it too. It's insane. That isn't like a snuff or a bad like it's actually a really good movie too. It's crazy. I mean,
I mean,
it's
it doesn't hurt that moving in stereo is playing, but I mean, you could put the worst song in the fucking
yeah.
world over that.
Yeah, I wouldn't care. Metallica could be playing, and yeah, because for me, like in modern day, it's like I'm trying to think. It's like Ray Lewis would say Aubrey Plaza. They're like my two big Hollywood crush. Because I used to like ScarJo and all that, but I'm kind of over that now as the years have gone on. But I still love Aubrey and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Even when I see them in interviews or anything, I'm just like, oh my god.
Emma Stone's pretty cute.
Yeah. Oh, Emma Stone's up there. I forgot it. Yeah, she's cool too. It's also a personality thing too. When you have a real crush, you wanna know them. Like that's where it gets like really. Mary Elizabeth Winstead though, that one's been bad for like I guess that's been almost 20 years for me now because Sky High came out in the early 2000s. I've been dealing with that one a long time. It's
God, how old is she?
she'd be older than me.
Well, no shit, she'd be older than you.
Hey, that doesn't mean we couldn't work out.
Hey, I'm not saying that.
You
I'm
know,
just thinking, man,
I
she looks like she's in her like mid 20s, but she must be in her mid 30s.
I'm a little scared that she's like pushing 40. I'm
Jesus.
feeling like she was born in like a 1983, 1984 kind of. I mean, hey, think Gosling's 40 now, dude. We're in that era, man. My generation's the people in their 30s, and now the younger generation that was young is like in their 40s now, man. It's weird. We're all getting
God, how
old.
old's Jake Gyllenhaal?
Like 40, 41 or something.
Man, Gosling really did not have the young career he could have. But
I
that's
know.
a subject for another day.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is
Man, why
getting.
was there no Kate Bush in this movie?
Oh, cloud busting.
Cloud busting,
If she'd have
running
been
up that hill.
if she'd have been flying in the air and cloud busting, that would have been badass. That would have been bad. Okay, so I don't know. We went through let's final thoughts. What are your final thoughts besides the guilty pleasure aspects? I guess. What would you actually think of this movie's qualities? What would you like rate this movie?
I
Arbitrary.
found it pleasurable. But I mean, it's garbage, but
I bet you
it's
liked it more than you've liked a lot of Marvel movies, though, didn't you?
Oh, you're absolutely goddamn right.
I bet you did, yeah.
It was a pleasant enough movie. I would like to watch it with someone and laugh about it.
We'll do that.
I think,
We'll do that in a few days, my friend.
yeah. It's Know What Women Want. That's
That's the bar.
yeah, I mean, it's not even close.
It's not
It's
even.
like a
It's not even.
toddler reaching for a pull-up
It's
bar.
not even in the vicinity of what women want.
Yes, but this does have action sequences where that just has Mel Gibson sequences.
I'll take a Mel
Uh,
Gibson sequence over
yeah, I'll
any
take a
action.
Mel Gibson sequence. Yeah,
Him
but
dancing and shit and throwing the hat on the rack. I mean, are you kidding?
I enjoyed this. I laughed my ass off watching it. So take that as you will. If it had a three-way NC-17, this would have been a 10 out of 10.
It's okay when it's in a three-way. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If I was being objective, like an actual rating, it's probably like a 4 or 5 out of 10 kind of movie for me. But if I'm talking just enjoyment, like I had like a I was gonna sound crazy to people, but I probably had like an 8 out of 10 enjoyment, and I do think a lot had to do with watching it at home. I want to make that clear. I don't know if I would have enjoyed this as much in the theater. If I would have paid and been sitting in a theater, I think this is a perfect movie to watch on your couch,
Yeah, it's nice that this movie is like free.
where
You know.
you can drink, and if you got to go take a piss, you can pause it. I mean, I paused it a couple times, and like,
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours long,
yeah, I mean that's the biggest
which
issue.
isn't that long for a movie, but
No, just for how
I was left wanting more Steve
No, I
Rogers.
know. I That's the thing. I wish that runtime, like if it actually could be improved, I feel like if it cut down, even though I don't want less of Pedro Pascal and Kristen Wiig, I think if it had cut down a little bit more on that stuff and had more of the romance stuff with them in the 80s, I really think this could have been like better than what it was. Um,
Just wait for the Jenkins cut.
because there's about a 20-minute stretch of the movie where it's that. Like when he first
Man, Mary
comes.
Elizabeth Winstead was born in '84. What a coincidence.
Wow, this was meant to be. But if this movie, you know what I mean, there's like that 20-25 minute stretch where most of the movie is him and her when he first comes back, and then it's the next day, and then they go and she's taking him around, and then there's the sequence where they steal the jet and all that, and it's just the two of them together. And I think that stuff, as far as the movie goes, not maybe like not laughing and stuff, that's like the best part of the movie is that middle stretch
Yeah,
with the.
it's genuinely good. She could have been Meg Ryan,
Yeah,
and he could have been like I don't know, Keanu Reeves or something.
yeah, no,
No, no.
at that point it's like a Nancy Meyers movie or something. It feels like that, and it's really charming, and I like the invisible jet. I like the fireworks scene. I love all of. I think it's like I was surprised. I was at that point. I was like, hey, this movie's actually getting kind of good in a way I wasn't expecting. And then after that point, it goes really fucking insane. Like it
It's
starts as
insane from the start. It's like
yeah, but then it kind
it,
of then it kind of finds a balance there with the Steve stuff for a little while. It sort of like finds a premise with him in the 80s. But then it goes back to Pedro Pascal. And then it's like okay, we're back to this movie.
I just cannot stop thinking about him fucking her in the office and stealing, like,
I like this.
just taking it and shoving it behind his back.
That's the thing. Was he holding on to it the whole time when they're fucking? Did he stick it up his ass? Like, what
It
did
was
he?
in her ass, man. That's when she made the wish. She was shouting it out during sex.
No, I mean, and I like how he's like, he tells the guys like, "Don't touch her," and she's like, "They couldn't if they tried." And then she gets on the helicopter with them and shit like that, and that conversation they have on the helicopter is fucking
Yeah, they get
amazing.
on like Marine One, don't they, or Air
Yeah,
Force
and
One?
he's like, "I like the way you think." Yeah, I'll just yeah, I had a good time. I think it's clear we both liked it. You're gonna see a lot of people making. I hope more people are making comedic videos, but I think a lot of people are making like yeah, like I'm seeing stuff like Wonder Woman 1984 was a train wreck. This is garbage. Why is this bad? Is it feminist prop? It's all I'm seeing, and it's like I can't believe everyone's coming at this from that angle, and it must just be for clicks or something like that. Because guys,
It's easy to beat up this movie. You know, it's sincere.
But this
It's
isn't. But
stupid.
this isn't like a
It's
Last Jet. This
enjoyable.
isn't like a Last Jedi or one of those kinds of
Not even
movies.
close.
Like this is not insulting. I don't think there's a deep political message underneath this. And if there was one,
If there ever was,
it's
it's buried so deep in shit that
yeah,
I mean
exactly.
that I don't
I
know how
mean,
you could
I mean,
possibly be moved by it.
You're Tim Robbins like crawling through the sewers with this movie. You know, I was really embarrassing after watching this. I was hanging out with some people and I was trying to do a Morgan Freeman impression. I was trying to do quotes from
Never good.
and I sounded just like Hannibal
And
Lecter. I
Dufresne.
sounded just like Hannibal Lecter. My Morgan Freeman impression is like, you know, like Andy Dufresne was my friend. And then I started thinking about Hannibal Lecter and Shawshank, where it's like, you know, like Andy,
He was in Shawshank.
keep eyes on the back of your head. And then he's like, what do you mean? Did they not know I'm not homosexual? Neither are they, Andy. You would have to be human first. Watch out for the sisters, Andy. Andy Dufresne, about 6'5", 190 pounds. He looked a little bit lanky
Oh, and
back when I saw him.
by the way, Warden, love your
I
suit.
thought the same thing, Warden. Love you. And I'm like, Hannibal Lecter and Shawshank's amazing. It's fucking great. Yeah, Warden, love the suit. And it started to blow my mind. Andy Dufresne, 6'5", 190 pounds. No, because that one line is very Hannibal Lecter. Like, they would have to be human first.
What do they covet?
What do the sisters covet, Andy? Tell me. What do you want more than anything? I can get you. Rita Hayworth. Rita Hayworth. Poster. It'll take me some time. If they find it, they'll tell you that you knew me.
I drew Rita Hayworth from memory. It's all I have
Yeah,
now.
he's in the
I want a
cell.
window
Just,
and I can look out of.
just think he's in the cell. Yeah, if he was in Shawshank. I only asked for one thing to tell you Andy's whereabouts. A window so I can look out. No. Tell me, Andy. Do you do you still see your wife dying? Do you still crawl through the shit, Andy? Are you still crawling through that shit?
You know, they'll say we're in love.
Yeah, Andy, you know, yeah, exactly. They'll say we're in love. No, it's a better movie. I mean, I'm going to see my friend
Silence of the
Andy.
Shawshank.
Yes, no, Hannibal was in Shawshank with the warden. They shot young Tommy.
How did the Wayans brothers not make that?
I know, with that parody. Why is that not
Prison
been?
movie?
Why is that not? Yeah. And Hannibal Lecter's in it in a parody and it's Shawshank. No, I know. Because I could, and they were like, you sound just like, because I was there trying to do it. I was like, I could say I liked Andy from the start. And they were like, why are you doing Hannibal Lecter? And I was like, oh shit.
You do a horrible Morgan Freeman.
I was like, yeah,
as most people do.
I was like, that's horrible. And I was like, but it's a pretty okay Hannibal Lecter. Then I was, yeah, I'd watch the shit out of that. Him
I
get,
need a super cut of that.
yeah, it's got, well, just the sisters conversation is so, I mean, so many of the conversations that Red and Andy have, if that was Hannibal Lecter, they would be fucking amazing. Get busy living or get busy dying. You're goddamn right, Andy. Yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to throw out there. That was in my head. But yeah, I like this movie, Wonder Woman 1984. That was the beef stew. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit of a different concoction this time. I think
A little more spice.
I think this episode had
Some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
yeah. I think this episode had a nice energy to it, man. I really dug it. I had a lot of fun. I think this movie was so much different from Queen's Gambit and Mank, where those like almost were kind of we had to talk about them in a different way because of dryness. This was like a I had a I'd say I had a fun time, man, in a way that I quite didn't have with Mank and Queen's Gambit, especially talking about it. I had a fun time, but I'm glad I was worried you were gonna come in and just be like, "Fuck this movie, this fucking sucks."
Well, how would you think that?
I don't know. I doubt you too much, but thank you everybody for listening. We'll see you next. I guess we're gonna be talking about like Soul or Taylor Swift or something. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway.